took that in your own car?
Probably, just because I was used to it.
There's always a bit of that when you jump in a new car, isn't there?
Yeah.
You just want to be sure you can get across without troubles.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting story. Basically, I had the same instructor as Rich. From my experience, it was a shambles. So I always thought I was quite a good driver. I was always confident. But when I started this process, I realised actually I'm not as good as I think I am. Take the first right after that, okay. How are you finding the car?
Yeah, just slowly getting used to it, kind of.
Yeah.
Obviously the clutch is a bit different, and well, it's all different, isn't it? It's a different car.
Would you say the bite point's quite high on this?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like I've got to bring the clutch up quite a lot for it to...
Yeah. To bite.
Yeah.
To move, yeah. Do you think you just took that in your own car?
Probably, just because I was used to it.
There's always a bit of that when you jump in a new car, isn't there?
Yeah.
You just want to be sure you can get across without troubles.
Yeah.
I understand that. It wasn't unreasonable that you stopped either, it's just...
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have stopped in my own car, I would have just gone for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, I'd probably do the same.
But obviously the more I do in this car, then I'll get used to it.
Yeah. Okay, when you come around the next left bend, just look for a safe and legal place to pull in on the left. Lovely stuff. Cheers, Rich. Alright. So, you feeling alright with the car?
I feel like I'm a bit too close, if I'm honest.
Do you, to the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I feel like I'm kind of on my knees when I'm putting... That's why I was a bit, coming off the clutch a bit jumpy, because I feel like I'm right up here when where the biting point is.
oh, okay, yeah. Alright, so what are you going to do? Pop your seat back a couple of notches?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go one
Alright.
notch. Yeah, I'll try that and then...
Can always keep tweaking, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And don't forget as well, the steering wheel can go in, out and up and down.
Yeah, I think the issue was, as I was coming off, I felt like my ankle was around my ears.
Yeah. Well, we don't want that, do we? I remember an episode of The Simpsons like that. Right. I see that you're using a bit of a system there. Is there anything you're doing on the approach to these junctions when I'm giving you the instruction? You can talk me through your approach. I think I know what you're doing, but I just want to make sure.
Okay, so I would obviously check my mirrors first, just to make sure that there's no one dead close behind me, because I'm about to obviously start braking, slowing down to the junction. Check my mirrors to make sure no one's in my boot, and then I'd look ahead to see where I'm going to position the car to obviously start to turn. Obviously there was that turning box there, so I knew I was going to go there. Left it as late as I could to go in that box because I didn't want to go over the cross hatchings in the middle of the road.
Okay.
And then once I got into position, I decided what gear, or as I was going towards the position, I decided what gear I needed to be in.
Yeah.
So that's why I went into first, because I knew I was going to, that car was just turning out, so I knew I was going to be stopping, because I thought I didn't really know the car as well as my own.
good. Yeah, it was good. Speed was out. Normally, what I find in residential areas and stuff, we didn't do lots and lots of it, but normally people are too fast. And they brake late.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't really feel none of that. I felt the signals was always timed okay. You know what I always see as well? I always see a lot of people signalling right to go straight on at roundabouts. I didn't see none of that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I do a lot of driving for my job, but I come across people as well that do signal right, and I've kind of sat there and they've gone straight on, and I'm like, well, I could have gone because I knew where you were going.
Yes.
If you'd signal right.
You then
correct, sorry, not right.
Do you then think that they're coming around and going to cross your path?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
So of course you're not going to emerge onto the roundabout because they're signalling right, which is complete bonkers, really. But it's altering that way of thinking. So anyway, I'm glad that I didn't see none of those things. What I'd like to, of sorts, you're kind of using the MSPSL routine of sorts there.
Yeah.
It looks like. I think we might need to just reinforce that a little bit. And set you on with what to be getting on with really from now on in the rest of this lesson and in your private practice. So what I'd like to do at this point is swap over for me to do a so-called perfect demo drive for the next 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
Kind of do the same route that we did roughly. I just want you to watch. Basically, I'm going to tell you where I'm going to go.
Yep.
So I want you to watch eyes, hands, feet as I go through my MSPSL routine.
As you come up to the junction from, because you're going to tell me,
What do you think you're watching my eyes for?
Watching your eyes to see if you're looking in your mirrors. Hands, obviously, to see where you are here and when you're going to start signalling.
Yeah. And feet?
Feet, just to see where, obviously checking your road position to make sure that you're not all the way to the left and then go right across as well onto the road. You know, where you're turning.
Yeah, with the steering and that.
Yeah.
Also with the feet, you want to, it's all good stuff there, Rich. Very, very good. With the feet, you're making sure that they're coming off the gas. A lot of it's feeling as well. Once you get in touch with it, once you know what you're feeling for, you can feel somebody come off the gas. You can feel somebody put the clutch down too early. You can also hear it as well. It eliminates the engine noise.
Yeah, because you don't want someone to be on the clutch and the accelerator, because horrible one, so you get that horrible burning smell and you get the it's not good for the car, is it?
Exactly. So all those things. So as soon as I tell you where I'm going, eyes, hands, feet, and don't worry about looking at me, looking at my eyes. It's all part of this training. It's nothing to feel embarrassed about, because I'll be looking at you soon, making sure you're doing what you need to be doing. Okay, Rich. So we'll swap over now.
Yeah.
Before you open a door, now it's quite elementary stuff, and I know you've opened a door thousands of times, Rich.
Mirrors, obviously checking the blind spot, because there might be a cyclist coming past or a biddy on a mobility scooter.
Yeah.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, as part of the essential skills, it recommends that you consider opening the door with the opposite hands.
Okay.
So if it's a really windy day, so normally, if you weren't thinking about
I'd just do that and then push it with my forearm.
Oh, would you? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but...
All right.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
But if you have your right hand on the handle part, if it's a really windy day, or you're parked next to somebody at a supermarket, and the wind could get old, or you really want to make sure it doesn't fling, you could, if you hold it with the opposite arm, it can only go so far.
So like that, yeah?
Yeah. No. With
left.
Yeah.
Left, yeah.
It can only go so far, look, unless it pulls your body out with it as well. So rather than do it with the nearest arm to the door, you do it with the opposite.
Yeah, so it's going to only go, that's on about, what, 10 inches?
Yeah. It's not something that you have to do or should do every time, but it's definitely something to be aware of.
Practice.
And something to, again, it's a discussion. It can prevent dings on the side of cars and doors flying open, knocking a cyclist over on the pavement.
So if I do that now, do I carry on pushing and walk out the car like that?
Well, you'd have your seat. Let's do it now. You'd have your seat belt off. Just push it down. Just push it open. Just push it open. And I'll meet you at the back of the car.
Yeah.
The reason for that is, Rich, you're always better to step off the back, because cars are coming from the left. If you step off from the front, they might not see you about to step off.
Yeah.
So you're a developing hazard that they don't see developing. So if we come at the back, the traffic approaches from that way.
Yeah.
All
right.
detailed stuff, but the success here is in the detail, and that is what will make you the difference from being a bog standard average instructor, which you're not going to be, and a good instructor.
Yeah.
Because good instructors, and I mean good ones, aren't that regular.
I was taught by the same person that you went with first, didn't you?
Yes. So there's an interesting story. Me and Rich, when we learnt to drive in Derby around this area. So I had the same instructor as Rich, and we won't go into any names or anything because it's not fair. From my experience, it was a shambles, and it wasn't.
And if I look back now, to be honest, if I look back now and think to myself, there was nothing that. It was just basic stuff. Like when I look at your videos and that, you go into a lot of detail. When I look back now to my driving lessons with this particular instructor,
yeah,
it was all very basic.
It was like, let's say there's a page full of information on a specific topic, and there's the title at the top and the top 2 paragraphs underneath. It was like the top bit,
yeah,
without the real substance.
Yeah, it was just like the header bit without the actual information about that bit.
Yeah, that's how I'd look at it. I was always cancelling on me anyway.
It did me a few times, yeah.
But we still see him around. I don't know how these people are still in business, personally. That's just my personal thought. I then went to another instructor, he was no good, and then I had to find a third who, and again, none of these people really had an impact on my life.
No.
I don't really remember anything significant from any of the lessons, apart from the bad stuff, which you always remember for some weird reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
All I remember is the third one was quite thorough in getting me to the point where I could pass my test. But you see, that mentality is completely, from a trainer perspective now.
He was just gearing you up to pass the test rather than learn skills that you're going to carry on through your driving career.
I can only...
driving life.
It is a career.
Yeah.
I can only presume what you've just said, because I can't remember anything other than that about the training. Did he get me to think for myself? Did he get me to reflect and analyse my own performance and the what-ifs? Did he do that? I don't think he did, because when I passed, I had a lot of close calls. You might recall, I had a lot of close calls. I just relate it to that style of training. We even lost one of our friends back then through driving. I think he was overtaking, head-on collision, and it all just makes you think. So I always thought I was quite a good driver. I was always confident. But when I started this process, I realised actually I'm not as good as I think I am. You know, driving over lanes and not realising I'm doing it. I mean, I was embarrassed, but it made me think.
Yeah.
I think it's all interesting as we go through, if we share this journey, because people can relate and it'll put it into perspective. Anyway, I'll meet you at the back. Right, so for me, jumping in, that would feel like I'm quite sat back quite a bit, do you know what I mean? It'd feel like you're quite supported, you know. But it's a personal preference a little bit, that one, to be honest. Head restraint's good. Clutch test is good. Just call it the clutch test. So whenever your pupils jump in the car...
So you're happy with that? Because obviously
I'm happy with that. You know, if I have to... In fact, maybe one notch forward.
Yeah.
When there's not much in it, it's not worth tinkering. But basically, if I have to move my body to get that clutch pedal down with any sort of conviction, it's wrong, it's too far back.
Yeah, because you need to,
You've got to be, you know, when you're driving.
Body staying still.
Yeah. You know, and if my leg's like curved when I've got the clutch pedal pressed down, then I'm way too close. And again, going back to those instructors, the first one had me sitting with my knees around my neck,
on top of the
too close, and not picking it. He didn't pick it up, and so with my right foot I couldn't get across for the brake and gas in time, and I was wondering why, and it was me that had to work it out. So when I'm not going to try and not skip any bits. I'm going to try and obviously do the best I can to make you the best instructor you possibly can. It's a good career and there's some good money to be earned if you're good, because once you get them recommendations coming, it just keeps spiralling. Anyway, so that's good. And the mirrors are still set. We're a similar height, aren't we? And so I'll do a demo drive now. So I'm going to use prepare, observe, move. So to prepare the car, set the revs, find the bite, slight tug there and freeze, about 1,200 revs, hand on handbrake, thumb ready to release, right hand on the wheel ready to steer. Left shoulder, nothing develop. Oh, I can see a car coming around the bend. I'll stay prepared though, and I'm set up for this hill, so no roll back. Left shoulder, nothing developing coming over the green there. Left door mirror, nothing coming over the grass. That's going to jump into the road in a second. Nothing behind. Right mirror on ahead. Right mirror, nothing coming, and right shoulder. Centre mirror, nothing. Something's changed. Now I'll do that in real time.
Yep.
So let's say the handbrake was on, which it would be. Check, 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 check. No need for a signal. Nobody around to benefit from one in front or behind any pedestrians or cars. Checking my centre mirror and my right mirror just for an update for this new road.
Yep.
I'm going to take the next, so remember eyes, hands, feet. I'm going to take the next road on the left, centre mirror, left mirror, signal, so mirror, signal. Position, well that's a normal centre of my lane position.
Yep.
Speed, I'm off the gas and I'm in second and I'm leaving the clutch up. I'm covering the brake and covering the clutch. Curb peels away and steering.
So you're just going round with the
just going round with the curb perfectly. Centre and right mirror. What that does is it stops that front end from entering the other side of the road.
Correct, yeah.
So again, another update in the centre mirror and the right mirror. So we refer to that as mirrors for new road, if you like. Bit tricky at the end, so things could change. Of course, the position isn't going to be as I want it to. I'm going to turn right at the end, so watch my eyes.
Yeah, because he's parked too close to the. Got to be 10 metres from the junction.
Yeah, that's it. Centre and right mirror, signal right. Watch my feet. Brake, brake, brake. Clutch first. Reconfirm that signal, and try and get back into my old side there. That'd be a big ask for a learner, normally, to be that slow and get all that steering on and off. And so listen out for the tick-tock and it's back on. Away we go. And again, mirrors for new road. Now, there you've got to consider sometimes you can't be too robotic with these mirrors. It's worth thinking about, is it worth checking the right mirror? I've only just checked it and the space is minimal there. You just got to use a bit of common sense sometimes. So I'm turning right. Set up. I think I've got a flash there, but I'm not going to bank on that too early and go. Could be something coming behind it. Little edge forward. Away we go. So centre and right mirror.
Yeah.
In second on this hazardous bit. Third gear. Okay. Clutch down, first gear. So we're going to try and make this a rolling holdback so we don't stop. Centre and right mirror before I move back out.
Yep.
I'm going to turn left now, centre and left mirror. Got a second, gently feed the clutch up and turn in with the curb. If somebody's in the wrong side, if something is coming, it'll be on the wrong side because of the parking from the ice cream van.
Yeah.
So checking my centre and right mirror, I can incorporate that into moving out for this learner car also there.
Yep.
Third gear. Any questions so far?
No, I'm just thinking about, obviously there's a lot of cars on the road, isn't there now, and it's forcing people to park on the road kind of thing now, so you've got to watch for obviously things coming out of cars and
that's right,
walking out and stuff, and like we were pulling out of that junction up there, you had to kind of go into the road before you could see what was if anything was coming.
That's it. What's key there is that you do pause at the line. You don't just sort of stop after the line because you know it's already blocked.
Yeah.
You pause at the line, you have a look, and then you edge.
Yeah.
If you believe it to be clear when you edge, then that's fine. If something then comes, well, how else are you going to find out? You've got to edge at some point.
Got to,
but by coming too quick and stopping over, there could be a cyclist just passing who's close to the line or anything like that. So I'm going to turn right at the end of the road with the two mirrors.
So you check your right mirror.
Which one first?
Your centre mirror first, and then your right mirror.
And I check the centre one first, so that I know what's behind me, because that's the first thing I'm going to do is probably ease off and slow down before I position, which I'd need the right one for. There could be something at the side of me, and my positioning's left of centre line for a right turn. You'll see then you want a minimum of 2 glances each way, and don't forget to look forwards in case any crossroads or driveways, just so we don't miss anything. So I'm going to turn in left at the roundabout.
So centre mirror, left mirror,
good,
and position.
Car coming round, first gear. Can I keep rolling? We've got a second car, still got its right time. It's coming off, right.
Plus you were going up a bit of a hill there, so
yeah. So which mirror mirrors now for my new road.
Centre mirror,
yeah.
And then both. Check both?
Well, if there's reason to believe, check the left, but normally which side would things overtake?
On the right.
Yeah, so if somebody ain't happy with the speed we've turned in, which is likely when you're teaching learners or anything like that, you're going to see them. What you do differently is not speed up, let them pass.
Yeah.
The point is you'll catch it earlier and you'll let them pass and diffuse that dangerous situation. You imagine you both coming up to this there's called a central island in the middle of the road here.
Yeah.
You won't want to be speeding up as well as.
No, because he's going to... Yeah.
So, bumpy road, that one.
That bike as well, just pulled out straight as you're coming parallel with him.
Yeah. Good job I didn't brake, being the side. So we've got the roundabout coming up, I'm going to turn right.
So you check your centre mirror.
Yeah.
Prepare to signal.
But I'll check my right first. So central right, signal right. It's quite closed here because the wall, second gear clutch up.
Yeah.
Just let it tick over, carry me for a bit. I would be a bit faster usually, I'm just trying to emphasise what I'm doing. Make best efforts to go around those. Take next road on the left.
So centre mirror, check your left.
Yeah. Okay. It seems like you're fairly clued up with what I'm trying to get across to you here. Do you want to swap back over?
Yeah, can do. Yeah.
And what I'll do, in fact, let me find somewhere to pull in, and then we'll discuss how we're going to do the next little bit. Because basically, I want you to now incorporate this into your driving from this point onwards.
Say what I'm doing as I'm doing it.
Yeah, that would be useful if you're comfortable with that. In fact, that would save us a lot of time. And it would help me to know what's going on in your head, so actually how to best help you. If you can do it like that as we go through the course, that'll be really good. So rather than hold back here,
you can move on course. Then you're making progress, aren't you?
Exactly, massive part of this is making progress. Otherwise, we're going to signal for that bus in case it's. Otherwise, we're going to aggravate drivers, aren't we?
Yeah. If you get someone that's a bit impatient behind you.
Yes. So there's that line between being too cautious, not cautious enough. There's nowhere really to stop there without blocking somebody's drive. Looking ahead there, I can see a big wall.
Yep.
The curbs don't look that different, but the wall means there's no driveway.
Yep.
So centre and which mirror?
Centre and left.
Yeah. Any need for a signal, Rich? You can probably see in your mirror there as well.
No, nothing behind.
Nothing around. Is there no pedestrians either that could look like they're going to cross in front? I'm using that curb reference that we talked about.
Yep.
And then you just go order of importance, handbrake, neutral, cancel signal if it was on.
Yep. Would there be any reason why you'd leave a signal on when you're pulled over?
Only if you're in a place that you feel a little bit vulnerable, I would say. A place where
maybe
there's
like
lots...
a bit of a main road type.
Yes.
So like this road in front of us is quite busy.
Yeah, you might want to... I mean, what will a signal do by leaving it on?
Just let people know that you are... Well, you could... Yeah, let people know that you are pulled over to the left or pulled up from the side of the road.
Yeah, and I think more so that you're just actually there. Just that you... To alert them earlier that there's an obstruction and they're going to need to consider holding back, or can they fit through, or it might be the difference whether somebody prepares late and doesn't knock your mirror off, or...
Yeah.
It depends really. I mean, I've been on test before and I've heard examiners say, just leave the signal on while we're here.
Right.
I've actually heard them say it, and I think it makes sense because it was more a busy road, but the nature is sometimes we do pull up on busier roads, don't we, sometimes, so... which is why they always make sure they pull up at least once on a busier road on the L test. So yeah, I will give you directions in good time. Now, the way I'll give directions, I've already kind of done it a little bit. I'll give you them in good time so you've got time to react or ask questions if you don't understand. Sometimes if I've got learners who get rights and lefts muddled up, I might say turn right at the end of the road and give it like a physical kind of confirmation as well. Probably I need to do that with you. If I say turn right at the end of the road, you will have giveaway lines in front of you. You can't go anywhere. it'll have a house in front of you, or next road on the left would be a side road, just to be absolutely sure.
Yeah.
I've got a system that I'll introduce you to later, but not just quite now, where I'll always check my mirror before I give you an instruction.
Okay.
To make sure it's safe for you to carry out what I'm asking you to do.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And then I go through a system there of eyes, hands, feet, where I watch what you're doing, and that makes me ready for if you're about to miss something, commit of what's known as a driving fault, if you like, and I can be ready to say something to stop that happening, or to something of that kind, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll swap over. How would you open? That's it, good stuff. And what would you check? Nice one.
Blind spot.
So what I'll do, I'll give you instructions.
Yep.
Now what I'm doing here, you're going to be doing as well. So it's kind of,
Take note
it's
of
not,
what
it's not kind of relevant for what we're learning today, but it is relevant in terms of the bigger picture, every single thing, which is why I'm explaining why I'm doing it. Okay. Yeah. So if you could commentate through, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
And drive on, Rich, when you're ready, please. Yeah. We'll turn left at the end.
So I'm going to check my mirror first, just to make sure there's nothing coming down the centre or the road behind me, or that I'm on. And then I'm going to look at clutch down, into first, hand on the handbrake. I'm going to find just over 1,000 revs. Find the biting point.
Good stuff.
Find that blind spot check. Checking in the mirror. Check the blind spot again, then move off.
Okay.
There was nothing around me, so I didn't signal.
Good stuff, yeah. Turning left at the end. Maybe talk me through.
So coming up to it now, check my mirror, check my left mirror, signal on, clutch down. Obviously it's quite a busy road, so I've just kind of stopped at the end, just because I know they come quite fast down there, even though it is a 30. And then I'm in a new road, so check my mirror, check my right mirror.
Good. I just want to know that you're doing it all at the minute, so we'll get more into the whys and the detail behind it in a little bit. So if you could take the next road on the left, please. So just bullet point terms.
So mirror again.
Yeah.
Left mirror to check for no one's coming on the inside like cyclists. Down the gear because I can roll around here, and then follow the curb around. Clutch up.
Okay.
And accelerate again.
Okay. And now for this new road, what you
Check my mirror.
Yep.
Check my right mirror.
Nothing's overtaking, yeah?
No, there's nothing coming down.
Alright, so when you get to the end of the road, well done, good job so far. When you get to the end of the road, turn left, please.
Left, okay. So I'm going to start looking in the mirror now, because, and obviously you want to look ahead here because there's quite a few cars parked. So if anything can step out, and then check my mirror, left mirror, signal on, clutch down, rolling in second. There's a bit blocked there, so I'm just going to put it back in first. And just edge out, because I did see the car at the corner of my eye just turn into the road, so I knew someone was coming in a minute. And then off we go. Okay. Check my mirrors, my right mirror.
Yeah. What about an approach to this silver one then? What would you be checking?
I'd be checking my right mirror just to make sure nothing's going to overtake me, because I'm going up to it, and then check my centre mirror just before I pull off.
Check your centre mirror on approach. First thing you do is slow down, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then before you move out to position, check your right. Okay. And then probably just before you move off again, if you've held back,
So centre mirror here.
That's it, because you've slowed, and then you're going to steer, so then you check your right.
Here. I'm going to stop. Okay, I'm going to go because he's not going to.
Okay.
Just check that.
Also, when you're approaching the junctions, have you any idea what would be a good distance to give a signal so that people do have time to react? You know, you're approaching T-junction.
Yeah, so I'd probably, what, about 100 yards, 200 yards? About 100 yards.
Good for about 6 car lengths.
6 car lengths.
Roughly. If there's something really close behind you, which is why we use mirror signal manoeuvre or MSM, give a signal earlier to give them more time to react to your intentions. So instead of 6, you could go 7, 8. But as long as that signal isn't that early that it's meaningless, like people are thinking, what, are you going to pull over on the left, or you're going to pull into that driveway? You know, it's got to be meaningful. So what's 6 car lengths from here, do you think, after you've checked your mirrors?
Probably where the bus stop is.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to turn
check
left.
The mirror. Put a signal on.
Good. So that's done and dusted now, unless it cancelled.
And then I'm going to look in my left mirror because I'm rolling around to the left, so I don't know if I can step out. And then see that's clear. So I just rolled up to that. I didn't put any brakes on or anything. I just rolled up to that, but my foot was kind of hovering over the brake just in case I need to stop.
Yes. At the roundabout, turn left, first exit.
Okay, so signal. Check my mirror as I was doing that. Left mirror. Use that because I know where he's going.
So anything like that that's a potential developing hazard or cause you to come off the gas, updating your centre mirror. Wouldn't always be mirrors in pairs, it is generally, but anything, it's a bit like the hazard perception.
Like that. I feel like he was about to pull out, so I did start to put my foot on the brake, but then he did stop.
So you know every click of the mouse on the hazard perception would be a check of the mirrors, if you like. They're all hazards or something that could be a hazard. You don't know which one's going to develop, but that's the point. Either one of them could cause you to take action.
When that car came round, that I overtook that parked car, just eased off the accelerator just so we weren't going to meet a bit too close.
Yeah, that's good planning. Roads are getting bumpier.
The worst, aren't they?
Yeah. With the mirrors then, try and get the mirrors done early. Mirrors in pairs, you know, so if you're approaching a roundabout, centre left, signal. Just get in their mirrors early, get that knowledge in sooner. So that you know well what you're dealing with before you change speed or direction. Also, what we need to work on then, just something that's sticking out at the moment to me, is left hand's lingering on the gear stick a little bit, and at the point where you're moving forwards and approaching at the giveaway lines, you could do that left hand back. I think you'd make progress a little bit quicker maybe, and get gone a bit sooner, and be a bit more efficient. Your steering's actually quite good, you've got a knack for moving your arm round. The thing is that though, if the airbag went off, you're going to punch yourself in the nose rather than the airbag do it. And also you're not really in a position to steer left anymore should you need to. Because you've reached your limits, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Now steering, there's no dead set way of steering. Push-pull method is probably the most...
Like feeding it through?
Yeah, just feeding it through really is useful, and it is an efficient way of steering, but not if you think that that's the only way to steer. Sometimes it is necessary to cross the arms, and there's no dead set way, although you will need to demonstrate, particularly on part 2, expert handling of the controls. Because you're going to be teaching it, aren't you? So for so yours has got to be real good for you to pick up little bits where they could mess up. Not that they do every time, but like I'm saying, should you need to steer left more, you can't really, and I guess that becomes more dangerous if you're travelling faster. So we need to figure out a way where we can sort of sort that out. You reckon you can sort that? I'll give you a reminder on the next one. we should approach the T-junctions in the mindset that we're always going to use first gear anyway, as you generally do, don't you?
Yeah.
So don't bother going second first. We're going to turn right at the end. That's it. So first gear was definitely selected earlier. That's good.
And I found that easier with my steering then.
Yeah, your hand's back on the wheel, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's done its job. Doesn't need to do anything down there again, unless you decide to put the handbrake on. You know, if a pause becomes a weight, or you're on a steep hill and you've already stopped or whatnot. So could you take the next road on the right, please? So what mirrors first?
Signal centre one.
Yeah.
Going to look at it right.
Okay.
I'm just going to roll down into it first.
Checking now for the new road.
Check my mirror. Check my right mirror.
Okay. And we'll take the next road on the left.
Okay, so centre mirror, left mirror signal on.
Good order there. Yep.
Clutch down. I'm going to roll around here in a second because first will be a bit too slow.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Or
We'll get
too
clipped.
quick. And then, yeah, if I dropped it first, then I would have kangarooed.
Yeah. Could you take the next road on the left, please?
Yeah, so mirror, signal.
Good.
Again, second is appropriate.
So,
So I'm just going to stop here because these parts a bit close, but still in second. So I still have enough momentum to carry me in second.
yeah. Almost like a downhill rolling start where you
Yeah.
engage the gear as you're rolling. Could you pull up on the left at a safe place, please? There's no rush.
Okay, so out of gear into neutral, brake up, clutch off, brake off.
Good stuff. If we're going to be really picky, we'll go handbrake first.
Okay.
It sounds picky, doesn't it, Rich? But why do you think that could be? Particularly a learner who's not done it many times.
Because I could have slipped off the clutch and I could start rolling forward, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you do,
Because
at
my
least.
foot was on the brake, obviously, but he could release the brake. Yeah. See what you're saying. Yeah.
It's just best practice. But all these little bits make up a a very good solid picture in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to pick up on the bits that I really need to help you with, rather than just telling you everything anyway. I think that's a better way of doing it. So, what's the difference between an open and closed junction, do you think?
So an open junction is something you could see the whole road. You can clearly see down both sides or to which way you're turning. And a closed junction is something where you've got obstructions, say parked cars.
Yes. Right. So, for an open junction, we're always going to use second gear, usually, unless there's a reason you think you need to use first. Because in theory, if all this was fields, all of it, green fields, nothing high, you could make your decision from here.
Yeah.
Couldn't you? You could see both ways.
And there is some roads that you can do that.
There's the odd few.
Yeah.
What, about 2% of all the roads you know? Possibly. But they do exist, particularly roads where they fork round in front of a T-junction.
Like the road at the top of here, like I was saying earlier, that technically is an open junction, is it? Because it's quite a busy road. But obviously I'll put it in first then, because I know from me driving down there a lot that cars do come down there pretty quick.
Exactly. So that's another consideration. And also, you've got steering to do.
Yeah.
And depending on the sharpness of that corner, you've still got to slow down for the bend anyway.
Yeah.
And then not miss a biker in plain clothing that blends in with the background and things like that. So it's generally 99% of all your junctions that you'll do are going to be first gear.
Yeah.
So let's skip the second out. Forget that. Straight from fourth to first, third to first, fifth to first, whatever.
Yeah, I think I've always drove doing through the gears.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the way I was taught originally.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of always done that, but yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of people were taught that way, and I think at one time in history it had its place. But there's a phrase that I use to help people to get past that, and it's brakes to slow, gears to go.
Okay.
So you brake to the desired speed based on what you need to be able to see and have a proper observations, and then select the gear to match the speed. That's the way you want to think of it. But generally these are, you don't see anything until you're at the lines, do you?
No.
So if you have in your head, straight to first gear, and generally speaking, so that's emerging out left and right, just generally speaking. I like to use the word general because it doesn't mean always, but it means normally. And then if we are turning right, let's say you're here, there's you, here's your visibility. Open or closed? Can you see in on approach?
I'd say it's open. Yeah.
So what gear do you think we'll use? Providing it's clear and we'll just turn straight, Third would be too quick, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It can be done in this car, particularly this car, but if this is wider...
It depends, I suppose, on the... Yeah, if you were going around more of a curve, you would probably get third, but...
Yeah.
Because you're going more of a, say, a right angle. Sharp turn. Yeah.
So, one thing that's really important at this point is I don't want you to think that there's dead set things for dead set things, but there's just things that we usually do, and we should approach kind of expecting to do it, but if it's something else, through our good planning and forward thinking, we might just do something to suit that situation. So usually, Rich, it would be second in, unless you give way for obviously an oncoming car or there's an elephant on a unicycle about to
that's across the road.
In the road. Or what's the other thing? Oh, and the other thing, when you're turning into roads, let me rub this out. Just draw for me the point where you would start to steer the steering wheel. Just a line at the
so
wherever that.
Here.
Yeah.
I'd say probably round about there.
Good. Is that so you don't cut the corner?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right. Make sure then that your clutches, your gear timing's good, but you just kind of, I think the word would be riding the clutch a little bit. Like, so make sure the clutch. So if you've got started the braking process here, brake, clutch down, second gear, selected, clutch up.
Yeah, because I've just been
off the clutch
what
there.
I've just been doing is holding it down.
Holding it down a bit. And you know when you come into that road, it was downhill, and we had the van parked badly on the corner here, and you mentioned it, and it's right. The engine braking would have helped you a little bit, and if the clutch is down, it's a little bit coasting.
Yeah, understand that.
Do you see? And if you're coasting, what could happen to your speed, unless you're still on your foot brake?
You speed up.
You pick up speed, particularly if it's long distances, the brakes can heat up and become less reliable and things like that. But you want that engine braking anyway. You know, it's good. It'll help for the control. And then what I do is my foot comes off there, and then my feet are in what I call covering position. So I'm still covering the brake, I'm still covering the clutch. So it might give me the confidence to keep rolling past that van where you stopped. If I can kind of see a bit, I'm ready. And the engine braking's keeping me from picking up speed. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, just do that now if you don't mind. Just show me how you'd have your feet in covering position, covering the brake, covering the clutch, driving along, and you're just anticipating using them. But the fact that you're thinking about them, covering them, if something does present itself, you're going to be so much more quicker getting there. You're already halfway there.
Yeah, I'm there on just about,
So don't, when you come off the brake and you come off the clutch to engage that lower gear to turn into a road, don't even move the feet away.
Okay.
What's the point? Because you're not going to be accelerating yet, are you?
No.
So there's no point in moving your foot away from that equation, yeah.
Cover them up.
All right.
Yeah.
So just to summarise, for T-junctions to emerge out from, what gear are we generally going to expect to use? If it's different, fair play.
First.
Yeah. To turn into an open junction, normally open, turning into a road, what would we generally use?
Second.
And where would the clutch be up?
Clutch will be up.
Where would you where would your left foot leave contact with that clutch?
Oh, the edge of the giveaway line.
Yeah. So before you turn in, yeah?
Yeah.
Good stuff. And that's it. Now, do you see what I've just done there with you? Again, this teaching part isn't relevant now, but it is. I've consolidated that learning then.
Yeah.
I've checked that you knew.
Yeah.
And you didn't quite have the answer straight away for one of them, so I helped you a bit. Because I don't want it to make you feel, and this is how I am with the learners as well, I don't want it to make you feel like, you know, you should know that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I don't want to dent your confidence either. So that's what that is, just to give you an insight as to what I'm thinking at that point. Okay, any thoughts, questions? Did that surprise you? Did you expect that? Or are you good?
I think I'm alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.